When we imagine a Caribbean beach, we think of pristine sandy beaches made of coral or volcanic, with palm trees swaying in the wind and blue-green or turquoise waters. In this video, we'll give you our feedback on the beaches that we went to during our port stays. If you're new to my channel, we're two Canadians taking a short break from winter by booking the Celebrity Silhouette 10-night cruise of the Eastern Caribbean out of Miami. Join us on this journey as we seek a bit of sun and warmth at the various ports that Celebrity Silhouette will be visiting. We have been to Antigua twice before on cruises, and each time we've visited popular historical landmarks like Nelson's Dockyard at English Harbor, or have done a full island tour. We toured city landmarks, drove past villages in the interior, and drove along the picturesque Fig Tree Drive before making our way along the coastal scenic drive. I'll leave the links in the description box if you're interested in watching those videos. This time, we decided to spend the day at Jolly Beach, considered by many to be one of the best beaches in Antigua. We were on the north side where we rented an umbrella and 2 beach chairs. The beach was mile-long and spacious. We liked that it wasn't too crowded even though there was at least 2 cruise ships in port that day. When we saw the colors of the sea, we couldn't believe it. It was windy, and an offshore wind was causing the waters to be turbulent and cloudy in appearance. Waves were breaking high onto the beach. It was a strange feeling indeed to be immersed in what seemed like a milky vat. But we enjoyed ourselves just the same as we body surfed the rolling waves.
There's a lot of turbulence on the water, and the water is very murky. I can't see down. Wow, look at the surf back there. Look at the breaking waves down there.
It may not have been the best conditions for a classic beach day, but one can't control for the weather. In terms of cost, we spent $20 for 2 beach chairs and an umbrella, $40 for the taxi to the beach and back to the cruise port, and $28 for food and drinks at the beach cafe, for a total of $88 for the 2 of us. A day at the beach? Priceless. The sister islands of St. Kitts and Nevis were the next destination of the Celebrity Silhouette. On prior cruise trips to St. Kitts, we went to Carambola Beach at South Friars Bay and Cockleshell Beach at the southern tip of the island. Both are beautiful stretches of beach with views of the mountains of the Southeast Peninsula and the island of Nevis. This time around, we decided to take the ferry across to the sister island of Nevis for the first time ever. Once you leave the cruise port, turn left on the main road and walk towards the ferry terminal building. A convenient 10-minute walk from the cruise terminal.
This ferry terminal is also beside the bus terminal, so it's a very busy place.
Ferry terminal, waiting for the ferry to take us over to the island of Nevis.
After buying our tickets, we waited for the next ferry to Nevis. It didn't take long before we boarded the ferry and settled in for the ride to Nevis, about 45 minutes long. It was quite a bumpy ride to Nevis as the ferry sped up. As the ferry approached Nevis, its most striking feature, Nevis Peak, dominated the scene, a potentially active volcano 985 meters high. The ferry dropped us off at the Nevis Ferry Terminal, right into the capital city, Charlestown. Charlestown was the birthplace and childhood home of Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. It was a Sunday and all businesses were closed. We walked along the empty main street for a bit. Gospel singing could be heard drifting from one building. I wonder what the backstory is for Wilma's Diner. It said on the sign that she cooked for the royal family. Our walk took us to the town's dinghy dock, which seemed to be in need of repairs. Then we made our way to Pinney's beach by taxi, just a couple of miles outside of Charlestown. We liked that it wasn't crowded. There were shady canopy of palm fronds with loungers and a picnic table for dining, but you can also just rent beach chairs and umbrellas. The amenities included beach bars and restaurants, washrooms, and an outdoor shower and change room. We spent a couple of hours here just lounging and enjoying the views from the land and from the waters. When coming out of the water, the view of Mount Nevis is quite spectacular. Okay, feels nice.
Yeah.
But there's that initial shock when you go in, but otherwise it feels nice, feels refreshing.
Soon enough, it was time to head back to the ferry terminal and board the ferry for St. Kitts. It's best to arrange a taxi pickup so that it'll be waiting for you by the beach bar. Once at the ferry dock, you can then purchase a one-way ticket to Basse-Terre, St. Kitts. In terms of expenses, we spent $100 for 2 ferry tickets to Nevis and back, which included port taxes. The taxi fare to Pinney's Beach was $24, there and back to the ferry terminal. The 2 beach chairs and sunshade cost $20, for a total of $144 for the 2 of us. A day spent on a new island beach, priceless. For its last port of call of the cruise, the Celebrity Silhouette pulled into St. Maarten.
Last day of cruising for Port Poppy.
All good things must come to an end at some point, right?
After hanging out in Phillipsburg, we took a taxi to Divi Little Bay Beach, which was recommended to us. Our objective for the day was just to take it easy and find a nearby beach that wasn't too crowded, given that there were 3 cruise ships in port.
Water is clear. People come from the cruise ships are allowed in. We took a cab over here, and it's pretty good. It's pretty easy. It's nice and quiet. The water is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Hawaiian Beach is any better than this.
No.
It's going to be super crowded, I'm assuming. It was last time we were there. And it was very windy.
The more popular beach will be crowded
Yeah.
because there are 3 cruise ships in the terminal today.
So this, I think we lucked out.
Get a view of some of the hills surrounding this area.
Some of the luxurious villas. There was a tour, or some sort of a tour for a scenic tour of luxurious villas and beaches. Well, we didn't have to pay. We didn't have to pay for that. We were already getting that. So
We had no prior knowledge of this bay or this beach, so when we arrived here, we were quite pleased to see that it was spacious and not crowded at all. The resort surrounding this beach was called Divi Little Bay Beach Resort, and we had access to the washroom facilities, the outdoor shower, and beach bar.
pina colada helps the day go by better.
We rented 2 chairs and an umbrella from the attendant. There was no need to purchase a resort day pass. Not only was it sunny and warm, there was a gentle sea breeze from offshore, making for calm waters, perfect for swimming and floating and lazing about. This was what we came for: powdery white sand, crystal clear waters, and gorgeous Caribbean sea views, while soaking up some warmth and sun and drinking pina coladas. In terms of expenses, we spent $14 return for the water taxi from the cruise port to town and back. The taxi fare to Divi Little Bay and back to Phillipsburg was $24. We paid $15 for 2 beach chairs and an umbrella, and $15 for 2 pina coladas, for a total of $68 for the 2 of us. Gorgeous Caribbean sea views? Priceless. As the celebrity silhouette sailed away from the island of St. Maarten, the Divi Little Bay Beach can be seen in the distance. I just want to say thank you for watching and keep an eye out for the next and final episode of this series. I put out videos of my sailing, travel, and outdoor adventures. If any of this interests you, tap on the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of a new video being published. For now, fair winds to all.